Though we have all traveled many uncertain roads, we have always recognized something wasn't right. We searched high and low, yet our paths had never intersected. Our desire to seek truth, then to speak true, has brought us all together. That thing of ours is rooted in truth, because truth is the only unshakable foundation. In the greatest book, it states in John 8:32, "For ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free."
Truth is a powerful force. It is the foundation on which all great achievements are built, and the bedrock of trust and respect in any relationship. When we are rooted in truth, we can be confident that our decisions and actions are grounded in reality rather than in speculation or wishful thinking.
The pursuit of truth is not always easy. It requires courage, perseverance, and a willingness to face uncomfortable facts. But in the end, the truth is always worth it. It allows us to make better decisions, to build stronger relationships, and to create a more just and equitable world.
From politics and world events to entertainment and pop culture, we've got you covered. We'll explore our history and the stories that matter to uncover the truth that lies at the heart of each one. With our fingers on the pulse of the news cycle, we'll provide the insights and analysis you need to stay informed and engaged. As we stay rooted in truth and let the truth guide us in all that we do, let us be willing to listen, to learn, and seek out the facts, even when they challenge our own assumption or belief.
Let us never forget that the pursuit of truth is not just an individual endeavor, but a collective one. Only by working together
With honesty and integrity,
can we build a better future for ourselves
And for generations to come.
This
is
That Thing of Ours.
How's it going, everybody? Thank you for joining us today on this, what is it, Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday, 29th of January, 2025. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for joining us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, X, Rumble, and Pill.net.
And if you haven't already, please take a minute and give us that virtual hug. If you're over on Rumble or YouTube, hit that thumbs up. If you're over on Pill.net, take that red pill. If you're over on X, smash that heart. And if you're on Facebook, you're our family. So we know you love to push buttons.
Hit the buttons. There.
So go ahead and clickety-click.
All right, everybody, make sure y'all are pushing those buttons. Really helps us out, and we do truly appreciate it. Thank you for joining us today. Yeah, we were a couple minutes late, but whatever. We get lost in the sauce sometimes, you know. We're human.
Do.
Yeah, we're human. Whatever. Anyways, yo, F-Clan, what's going on, man?
Got Chachi in the house.
Hey, Chachi. He said it's like 50 degrees there today or something.
Oh, wow.
57? Yeah.
Got Mike in the house.
Hey, Mike, what's going on?
There's the beautiful Miss Steph.
Hey, Steph.
Beautiful Miss Dawn.
Hey, Dawn.
Oh,
A little
67.
67. That's nice.
That's really
Yeah, that
nice.
works out. Yeah.
It was not that warm here. There's Miss Angie. Miss
Hey,
beautiful Angie.
I always call her Hope.
I know, but her name's Angie.
And Dawn. I always call her a little longer too.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyways.
There's Miss Wendy.
Hey, Wendy.
The beautiful Miss Wendy. Hopefully it's getting warmer in Florida.
I mean, it's Florida. Should be getting
but
warmer.
It's been
I know. They had
cold.
snow.
I know, it's crazy.
What are the iguanas going to do?
Fall out of trees.
Fall out of trees. Yeah, ain't nothing else to do with your time.
Right? Just craziness.
It is craziness. All right. So it's been a day, I understand. Isn't it nice that the days are getting better and better? Isn't it more easy to appreciate the song of the birds and the little fluffy clouds? Like everything just seems to be a little bit sweeter lately. I can't quite put my finger on it, but man, things sure have been a lot better lately.
It really has.
Sometimes, you know, I don't know, maybe about 9 days ago. I guess I've been feeling this nice about 9 days.
Yeah, I know. You know, it's nice to have Big Daddy T back in the office.
It sure is. 73. Wendy? Wow.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, all right.
That is awesome.
Yeah, it sounds nice.
56.
56. I mean, that's okay. I mean,
It was 50 here.
I mean, of course, they all got snow.
Yeah.
We didn't get snow. I know Kim Clement had something to say about that. Hey, Bender, thanks for joining.
Thanks for joining.
Appreciate you.
You ready?
Yeah, let's go ahead and dive right in.
Okay. Can you read that, please?
Health and Human Services nominee Robert F. Kennedy Jr. opening statement for confirmation hearing. Everybody had an amazing weather day today.
Yeah, they did. Let's listen.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Kennedy. And before you begin, if you would like to, you may introduce your wife and children.
Yes. My wife, Cheryl Hines, is here. My daughter, Kit Kennedy, my son, Bobby Kennedy, his wife, Amaryllis Fox Kennedy, and my nephew, Jackson Hines, is here too.
We welcome you all. Thank you. You may proceed with your statement.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chairman Crapo, Ranking Member Wyden, and members of this distinguished committee. I'm humbled to be sitting here today as President Trump's nominee to oversee the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. I want to thank President Trump for entrusting me to deliver on his promise to make America healthy again. I also want to thank Cheryl and Kik and Bobby and all of my other children who are here today, and all the many members of my large extended family for the love that they have so generously shared. Ours has always been a family that has been involved in public service, and I look forward to continuing that tradition. My journey into the issue of health began with my career as an environmental attorney, working with hunters and fishermen and mothers in the small town in the Hudson Valley and along the Hudson River. I learned very early on that human health and environmental injuries are intertwined. The same chemicals that kill fish make people sick also. Today, Americans' overall health is in grievous condition. Over 70% of adults and a third of children are overweight or obese. Diabetes is 10 times more prevalent than it was during the 1960s. Cancer among young people is rising by 1 or 2% a year. Autoimmune diseases, neurodevelopmental disorders, Alzheimer's, asthma, ADHD, depression, addiction, and a host of other physical and mental health conditions are all on the rise, some of them exponentially. The United States has worse health than any other developed nation, yet we spend more on healthcare, at least double, and in some cases triple, as other countries. Last year, we spent $4.8 trillion, not counting the indirect costs of missed work. That's almost a fifth of GDP. It's tantamount to a 20% tax on the entire economy. No wonder America has trouble competing with countries that pay a third of what we do for health and have better outcomes and a healthier workforce. But I don't want to make this too much about money. It's the human tragedy that moves us to care. President Trump has promised to restore America's global strength and to restore the American dream, but he understands we can't be a strong nation when our people are so sick. A healthy person has 1,000 dreams. A sick person has only one. Today, over half of our countrymen and women are chronically ill. When I met with President Trump last summer, I discovered that he is more than just concern for this tragic situation, but genuine care. President Trump is committed to restoring the American dream, and 77 million Americans delivered a mandate to him to do just that, due in part to the embrace and elevation of the Make America Healthy Again movement. This movement, led largely by Maha moms from every state, you can see many of them behind us today, and in the hallways and in the lobbies, is one of the most transcendent and powerful movements I've ever seen. I promise President Trump that if confirmed, I will do everything in my power to put the health of Americans back on track. And I've been greatly heartened to discover a deep level of care among members of this committee too, both Democrats and Republicans. I came away from our conversations confident that we can put aside our divisions for the sake of a healthier America. For a long time, the nation has been locked in a divisive healthcare debate about who pays. Oh, when healthcare costs reach 20%, there are no good options, only bad ones. Shifting the burden around between government and corporations and insurers and providers and families is like rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic. Our country will sink beneath a sea of desperation and debt if we don't change the course and ask, why are healthcare costs so high in the first place? The obvious answer is chronic disease. The CDC says 90% of healthcare spending goes toward managing chronic disease, which hits lower income Americans the hardest. The president's pledge is not to make some Americans healthy again, but to make all of our people healthy again. There is no single culprit in chronic disease. Much as I have criticized certain industries and agencies, President Trump and I understand that most of their scientists and experts genuinely care about American health. Therefore, we will bring together all stakeholders in pursuit of this unifying goal. Before I conclude, I want to make sure the committee is clear about a few things. News reports have claimed that I'm anti-vaccine or anti-industry. I am neither. I am pro-safety.
We'll have order. Please proceed, Mr. Kennedy.
What the hell was that clown saying?
Safety. I worked for years to raise awareness about the mercury and toxic chemicals in fish, and nobody called me anti-fish. And I believe that that vaccines play a critical role in healthcare. All of my kids are vaccinated. I've written many books on vaccines. My first book in 2014, the first line of it is, I am not anti-vaccine, and the last line is, I am not anti-vaccine. Nor am I the enemy of food producers. American farms are the bedrock of our culture, of our politics, of our national security. I was a 4-H kid, and I spent my summer working on ranches. I went to work with our farmers. I want to work with our farmers and food producers to remove burdensome regulations and unleash American ingenuity. MAHA simply cannot succeed without a partnership, a full partnership of American farmers. In my advocacy, I've often disturbed the status quo by asking uncomfortable questions. Well, I'm not going to apologize for that. We have massive health problems in this country that we must face honestly. And the first thing I've done every morning for the past 20 years is to get on my knees and pray to God that he would put me in a position to end the chronic disease epidemic and to help America's children. That's why I'm so grateful to President Trump for the opportunity to sit before you today and seek your support and partnership in this endeavor. I will conclude with a promise. The members of this committee, to the president, and to all the tens of millions of parents across America, especially the moms, who have propelled this issue to center stage. Should I be so privileged as to be confirmed, we will make sure our tax dollars support healthy foods. We will scrutinize the chemical additives in our food supply. We will remove financial conflicts of interest from our agencies. We will create an honest, unbiased, gold standard science at HHS, accountable to the president, to Congress, and to the American people. We will reverse the chronic disease epidemic and put the nation back on the road to good health. Thank you.
Thoughts?
What unpaid person is going to go in there and get arrested for saying that he's lying, basically, that he is in fact anti-vax? Yeah, what vaccine company shill was that? I'd love to know where that asshole got their money from. Who exactly paid them? Of course, I have a nice long list. I just reposted it on the DTOO Twitter page or X page of all the big pharma companies that have been paying for all of these senators and whatnot to pay for their election funds. So we'll go over that as we go in further, because it sounds like Kay has more videos about all of this. It was a nice job. He did an amazing job. RFK Jr. did an amazing job, and he really held his own. And the memes are just on fire right now. They're just trashing everybody. Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah, let's do this.
Can you read that, please?
Pocahontas has full-blown meltdown over RFK Jr. refusing to not commit to suing big pharma companies.
Let's listen.
All right.
You financially down the line.
I'll comply with all the ethical guidelines.
That's not the question. You and I, you have said.
You're asking me, Senator, you're asking me not to sue vaccine pharmaceutical companies. Yeah, you are. That's exactly what you're doing.
Look, no one should be fooled here. As Secretary of HHS, Robert Kennedy will have the power to undercut vaccines and vaccine manufacturing across our country.
Good.
And for all of his talk about follow the science and his promise that he won't interfere with those of us who want to vaccinate his kids, the
Want to vaccinate his kids.
Same. Kennedy can kill off access to vaccines and make millions of dollars while he does it. Kids might
like you
die,
don't,
but Robert Kennedy can keep cashing in.
Senator, I support vaccines. I support the childhood schedule.
All right.
Thoughts?
A little something to share here real quick. Posted by Dr. Ben Braddock. Pharmaceutical companies that fund Senator Elizabeth Warren's campaigns: Johnson & Johnson, AstraZeneca, Bristol Myers Squibb, Eli Lilly and Company, and Pfizer. So that's where that message was brought to you from today. Isn't that interesting? And it was her slip about, people that want to vaccinate your kids. I don't want you vaccinating my kids. That's why we voted President Trump in, because we don't like you. We don't like you at all. Wow. She lost her shit, didn't she?
She's an idiot.
Well, I mean, it's clear to us, but clearly there's enough people, whoever she represents,
Massachusetts.
I'm sure that they don't like her much either. But those that do like Pocahontas over there, I'm going to say that they're going to stop liking her real quick, especially once all the Gitmo shit comes out. Woo. Yeah, after y'all have cashed in from the vaccines. And that's the biggest point is their what is it? Cash cow is about to die. And of course they're going to fight for it. Yeah. Brought to you today by Pfizer.
Exactly.
Yes.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Can you read that, please?
Unhinged and crazy Bernie Sanders loses his mind over RFK Jr. over anti-vax onesies.
Ready?
Yeah.
The pro-vaccine, you want to ask questions. You have started a group called the Children's Health Defense. You're the originator. Right now, as I understand it, on their website, they are selling what's called onesies. These are little things, clothing for babies. One of them is titled Unvaxxed, Unafraid. Next one, and they're sold for $26 a piece, by the way. Next one is No Vax, No Problem. Now you're coming before this committee and you say you're pro-vaccine. Just want to ask some questions. And yet your organization is making money selling a child's product to parents for $26, which casts fundamental doubt on the usefulness of vaccines. Can you tell us now that you will, now that you are pro-vaccine, that you're going to have your organization take these products off the market?
I have no power over that organization. I'm not part of it. I resigned from the board.
That was just a few months ago. You founded that. You certainly have power. You can make that call. Are you supportive of this?
I've had nothing to do with
Are you
leadership.
supportive of these onesies?
I'm supportive of vaccines.
Are you supportive of this clothing, which is militantly anti-vaccine?
I am supportive of vaccines. I will. I want good science, and I want to protect.
But you will not tell the organization you founded not to continue selling that product. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thoughts?
That message was brought to you by Pfizer, EMD Serrano, and Acadia Pharmaceuticals. That fake anger is like Bernie Sanders is going to scare anybody being all angry and shit. Come on, man.
I know.
Yeah, go to your multi-million-dollar house, you socialist, fake socialist piece of shit, with your $100,000 Audi R8 or whatever kind of crap you got. You know, man, we don't care, because all of those things that you got was from the money that you got paid for to give these garbage messages. That, again, this is why we don't like you. Nobody likes you people.
I know.
You have to pay people to like you.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, because you want to profit off of what you want to do. Same thing it always is. The freaking left, everything they're accusing other people of is exactly what they've been doing this whole time. And they don't like people horning in on their little profit job. Whatever. Give them a baby bottle. Yeah, I know. Of course, I can't stand the baby crying sounds. Otherwise, I'd have one of those. Yeah, that'd be a bit much.
You ready?
Yeah.
Can you read that, please?
RFK Jr. shuts down Senator Wyden over supposed measles outbreak and vaccine use in Samoa.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
2021, in a book called The Measles Book, you wrote that parents had been, quote, misled into believing that measles is a deadly disease and that measles vaccines are necessary, safe, and effective. The reality is measles are in fact deadly and highly contagious, something that you should have learned after your lives contributed to the deaths of 83 people, most of them children, in a measles outbreak in Samoa. So my question here is, Mr. Kennedy, is measles deadly, yes or no?
The death rate from measles historically in this country in 1963, the year before the introduction of the vaccine, was 1 in 10,000. Let me explain what happened in Samoa. In Samoa in 2017 or 2015, there were 2 kids who died following the MMR vaccine. And the vaccination rates in Samoa dropped precipitously from about 63% to the mid-30s. So they've never been very high. And in 2018, 2 more kids died following the MMR vaccine, and the government of Samoa banned the MMR vaccine. I arrived a year later when vaccination rates were already below any previous level. I went there, nothing to do with vaccines. I went there to introduce a medical informatics system that would digitalize records in Samoa and make health delivery much more efficient. I never gave any public statement about vaccines. You cannot find a single Samoan who will say, I didn't get a vaccine because of Bobby Kennedy. I went in June of 2019. The measles outbreak started in August. Oh, clearly I had nothing to do with the measles. Not only that,
Mr. Kennedy,
Senator, not only that, if you let me finish,
you have had some time.
if you let me finish, Senator, if you let me finish, there are 83 people died. When the tissue samples were sent to New Zealand, most of those people did not have measles. We don't know what was killing them. The same outbreak occurred in Tonga and Fiji, and no extra people died. There were 7 measles outbreaks in the 13 years prior to my arrival.
I just would like to get my time back.
No.
Thoughts?
Time. All right. And Senator Ron Wyden's message was brought to you today by Amgen, Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, Merck, Bristol-Myers Squibb, AbbVie, AstraZeneca, and Sanofi.
Mm-hmm.
It's very clear why these people are doing the things they're doing. It could not be much more transparent. Really, honestly, they should be required to have a NASCAR style jacket. I think we'd all be all right with that, because then we'd know, because we know that these people don't have the honor to recuse themselves from these kinds of things. Hey, I'm getting sponsored by these vaccine companies, and so I might have a jaded kind of perspective that I'm bringing to the table here. Of course, we're not going to get that. That's why they should be forced to wear a patch for each and every company that gave them X amount of dollars to ensure that they got elected. But either way, it's all open source. We can figure it out. We just got to make sure that everybody knows what the real deal going on is. Hey, Skunk, thanks for joining. Question is, are you supportive of these onesies? No, he wasn't even listening, F. Glenn. No, he yeah. Dude lost the wind in his sass.
I think ass.
Ass, yeah. All right, yeah. His face looked really plastic.
It did.
Like there's just
Someone right there.
the miracle of medicine, miracle of modern pharmaceuticals written all over that dude's face.
Yeah.
Mm.
You ready?
Yes.
Can you read that, please?
RFK Jr. says, Senator, I believe that every abortion is a tragedy.
Let's listen.
Mr. Kennedy, and my final question, did you say on a podcast, and I quote, I wouldn't leave abortion to the states. My belief is we should leave it to the woman. We shouldn't have the government involved, even if it's full term. Did you say that, Mr. Kennedy?
Senator, I believe that every abortion is a tragedy.
Did you say it, Mr. Kennedy? This
believe-
matters. It doesn't matter what you come here and say.
All right.
Thoughts?
Okay. I mean, whatever. He may have said that. He was just reiterating, and he was going to follow through with what he said. Although I will say the real difference that I'm noticing between Trump's nominees that are having to go through this rigmarole is that the people that Joe Biden put forth, all of those people spent all of their time playing weasel word games, trying to waste time. Whereas what we see with President Trump's people is that they're actually legitimately answering the question. Should tell you the difference in the caliber and the quality of the people that are being appointed, because not only are they willing to stand behind what they said, they're willing to explain, and they're willing to give an understanding as to why they're coming from where they're coming from. And so what do the people that don't want a real health and human services director around, they're going to try to trip him and trick him, but it can't happen because he's speaking from the heart, because this is how he really feels. Another thing the left just really has not understand, and not just the left, I'm going to say the rhinos. All they do is they figure out, they say what they're told to say based off of polling. And so they never really have any kind of understanding about what they're putting laws or arguing about, because they don't really care. They're just being paid to care about something. They're hookers, and this is nothing new. And they're terrible hookers. Like there's not even a happy ending out of it. All they do is take our money. Damn.
Yeah.
F. Clint says Trump should have adjourned Congress and appointed his team. I think that that's a great point, F. Clint. Although I believe that President Trump already knows who they're not going to. And so he's going to force basically what we're seeing here. And a lot of this is political theater, because they already know who's going to go through the vetting process. And he's going to let those people basically rake these people who are obstructing what is best for the people of the United States. He's going to rake them over the hot coals by having real people speak about where they feel from the heart. But in the end, it's all based off of what we feel as the people, and this is what we want. So I know that a lot of these people that would otherwise not vote for some of Trump's appointees are going to vote for him because they're still thinking about that upcoming election.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Are you ready?
Yes.
Let's listen.
All right.
Who do you need to start ignoring? It's like, you know what? I will not engage. Because if I engage, I will enrage. That leads to the escalating cycle of vengeance. Who do you just need to block? Let me say, this is good for the soul. There are just some people on social media like, you're gone. Certain people, you're like, I love you. I'm not going to attack you. I forgive you and I bless you, but I'm done with you. There's a boundary for you. You can't show up at my house. You can't call, text, or email. You can't just show up on my social media feed. We are not going to continue together, because if we do, all we do is just cause vengeance and escalation. So I am exiting, and God can deal with you.
Thoughts?
All right. So that's really one of the best ways to keep a situation from getting worse is to disengage. Disengaging, and it requires some discipline to disengage from like when you know that something is wrong, when you know that you're basically right, it's difficult because we do have this human trait about us where it's like, no, I see things this way. And so it just goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And all it does is it makes things worse. So a lot of the times, the best thing that we can do is try to withdraw. And it doesn't mean forever. And it doesn't mean that you have to completely cut people off, but we have to understand our boundaries. And when we get upset, being able to recognize that that heightened emotional state and withdrawing and say, you know what, I don't think this is going to go anywhere. You know, we disagree, whatever the situation dictates, use your personal communication skills to figure out how to disengage from that, you know, and even, and if it's a spouse and you're stuck in a 1-bedroom studio kind of apartment, you know what, I'm going to need 15 minutes and just go to a different part, you know, just give me 15 minutes and then we can rediscuss that. And I will say that that's one of the things that's really helped out Kay and I through all these years is, you know what, give me some time. And it's still a practice. It's always, everything is a practice constantly.
We will take a time out.
Yeah, we'll take a time out. Yes, you know, do what you got to do, but disengaging and providing that buffer space between you and whatever's upsetting you is the best thing you can do because, and it's been a while since I've said it, but acid does more to the vessel in which it is stored than that on which it is poured. It will wash off quickly and they don't care, especially if they're in a heightened emotional state. So we have to make sure that we're letting that acid go away. And we certainly don't want to spill that acid on whoever has upset us because has it ever fixed anything? And if it did, it was just because it was pure domination, in which case that's only going to breed resentment. Best way is just to disengage and try to simmer the situation down.
Absolutely.
That's all I got on that one.
Yep. You ready?
Yeah.
Can you read that, please?
New White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt makes major announcement that spells doom for the legacy mainstream media.
Let's listen.
Millions of Americans, especially young people, have turned from traditional television outlets and newspapers to consume their news from podcasts, blogs, social media, and other independent outlets. It's essential to our team that we share President Trump's message everywhere and adapt this White House to the new media landscape in 2025. To do this, I'm excited to announce the following changes will be made to this historic James S. Brady briefing room, where Mr. Brady's legacy will endure. This White House believes strongly in the First Amendment, so it's why our team will work diligently to restore the press passes of the 440 journalists whose passes were wrongly revoked by the previous administration. We're also opening up this briefing room to new media voices who produce news-related content and whose outlet is not already represented by one of the seats in this room. We welcome independent journalists, podcasters, social media influencers, and content creators to apply for credentials to cover this White House. And you can apply now on our new website, whitehouse.gov/new media. Starting today, this seat in the front of the room, which is usually occupied by the press secretary's staff, will be called the new media seat. My team will review the applications and give credentials to new media applicants who meet our criteria and pass United States Secret Service requirements to enter the White House complex. So in light of these announcements, our first questions for today's briefing will go to these new media members whose outlets, despite being some of the most viewed news websites in the country, have not been given seats in this room.
Thoughts?
Yeah, but then you have to go to DC. Sounds awful.
But
Yeah, I mean, look, it's cool, and it's actually something that I would like to see is a chance for other people. It is something that has been it has fostered the good old boys network out there in DC, which has created most of the problems. It should be a revolving door. Yeah, we should have some professionals there, and maybe they could do a round robin as well, because the way it has not been working. They always pick on the same people, and what we really know and have known for so long is that the press works with the left, and they give them the questions, and then here's the answer that you want to say. It's all been a setup. It's for show. It's you're watching a movie, right? Kind of crap. It would be nice to see something a little bit different. Ant applied. That's awesome. Conservative Ant is great. I'd love to see him over there. Man, she upgraded her cross. Could swear it was smaller last time. Yeah.
Well, we'll see.
I mean, yeah, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Are you ready?
I like big crosses, and I cannot lie. I don't know. Anyways, moving on, please.
Can you read that, please?
White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt shocks the media. Every illegal alien in this country is a criminal.
Let's listen.
Surprise.
Yeah.
Immigration. Of the 3,500 arrests ICE has made so far since President Trump came back into office, can you just tell us the numbers? How many have a criminal record versus those who are just in the country illegally?
All of them, because they illegally broke our nation's laws and therefore they are criminals as far as this administration goes. I know the last administration didn't see it that way, so it's a big culture shift in our nation to view someone who breaks our immigration laws as a criminal, but that's exactly what they are.
The worst first. They all have a criminal record.
And welcome to the
If they broke our nation's laws, yes, they are a criminal. Yes.
Thank you. On strip.
Thoughts?
Well, kind of put that out there plain and simple, didn't she?
Yeah.
I don't understand why it's such a difficult concept to grasp. These people came to our country illegally, against the law.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, they broke the law. Therefore, they are outlaws, also called criminals.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really particularly care. I mean, I do care if they're violent criminals on top of additional crimes makes them even worse of a criminal. See, we are a nation of immigrants, and we have known for hundreds of years as to how we should have immigration in this nation until, I don't know, whenever we decided to get rid of Ellis Island, which was run poorly, granted, but still, it's like we understand how the process should work, and then we stopped for some strange reason, right? And so it was only designed to make things the way they are now, was only designed from my perspective to bring about young new voters that otherwise wouldn't be coming here, because the left sure seems to love everybody doing everything wrong. They love their sanctuaries for assholes. I don't know. I don't get it. Yeah, straight up said criminals. They are criminals. They came here in a criminal manner. You know, whether or not they were drug mules, whether or not they were doing anything in addition to coming here illegally, doesn't matter. You're here illegally.
Yeah, they broke the law.
Yeah, like literally just freaking come through the front door. That's all anybody's really asking. Aaron says, with the amount of laws on the book, we are all criminals and break a few laws every day. I'd say possibly every hour. Wouldn't surprise me. But, you know, Thomas Jefferson warned us about that specifically. And I can't remember the quote off the top of my head, so I should have just kept my mouth shut, but whatever. Y'all know what I'm saying. Wendy says, I want an emoji with a red head on it that simply says thoughts. That's funny.
I've got my thoughts shirt on right now.
Yeah, you do.
You ready?
Yeah.
Let's listen.
All right.
Because this is awesome.
No, I'm sure.
I am obviously acutely aware that my presence at this podium represents a few firsts. I am a Black, gay, immigrant woman, the first of all three of those to hold this position. How are we? Good to see all of you. It's an honor to be here with all of you. A lot of familiar faces in the room, a lot of new faces. And President Trump is back, and the golden age of America has most definitely begun.
The Senate has already confirmed 5 of President Trump's exceptional cabinet nominees.
Another perfect example of why DEI needs to go. Pay attention. When Biden's press secretary got up there, what was the first thing she was talking about? Race, gender, sexual orientation, yada, yada, yada. Trump's press secretary gets up there and actually starts talking about the Trump administration. One is focused on things that aren't their job, race, gender, sexual orientation, and the other is actually focused on things that are their job. Biden's press secretary led with her race, gender, sexual orientation, all that. Trump's led with focusing on what her job is, talking about the Trump administration, representing that administration, and answering questions. It's just a night and day difference. I am glad that we no longer have an administration prioritizing DEI. It's time for that to go. Get it out of here.
Thoughts?
All right. So, based off of their logic and using actual logic, if we have somebody that wants to be the press secretary that is gay, immigrant, person of color, is that what gave her the checks in the box for the job? Then we probably shouldn't have one of those ever again, because they do a terrible job and all they do is lie. See, they have these bullet points on their resume as if they actually mean anything. And it does to people who have no clue about how life actually works. And that's why we had everything that we had with KJP. And then that was a replacement to Jen Psaki, as if it wasn't even an improvement. It was just more lies packaged differently. I don't care what the package is. I just care if they do the job well. This is a meat suit that we wear. It is not who we are. It does not define who I am as a human being, other than the fact that this is the thing that I wear. But the soul that's inside of this has nothing to do with what's on the exterior. And maybe that's just a difficult concept for them to comprehend. Maybe they don't really recognize that there's something more than just a cluster of cells. Of course, then that would explain why they have no problem murdering babies. But I don't know. Call me crazy, whatever. There's a lot going on here.
You ready?
Yeah.
Let's listen.
All right.
And I'm restating right now to correct any confusion that the media is purposely and somehow, for whatever reason, created Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid have not been affected by any action we're taking in any way, shape, or form. We are merely looking at parts of the big bureaucracy where there has been tremendous waste and fraud and abuse. In that process, we identified and stopped $50 million being sent to Gaza to buy condoms for Hamas. 50 million. And you know what's happened to them? They've used them as a method of making bombs. How about that?
And to screw
We stopped
goats.
an attempt to make an illicit payment for illegal alien resettlement. We canceled $181 million in DEI training contracts. This is just for the training of people in DEI, which is
Indoctrination.
terminated and completely terminated. And we paused $1.7 billion in unauthorized payments to foreign organizations, including stopping more than $40 million that was on its way out the door to the very corrupt World Health Organization, which has not done its job and not done it properly. We also blocked $45 million for diversity scholarships in Burma. 45, that's a lot of money for diversity scholarships in Burma. You can imagine where that money went. These were the types of payments and many others. I could stand here all day and tell you things that we found, and we have to find them quickly because we want the money to flow to proper places. But these were the payments and types of payments affected by the temporary freeze, and the American people strongly support these efforts. I talked about it during the campaign.
For the goats?
And they voted for us in record numbers. Every single day, we're now putting America first and fighting to get the most out of every single tax dollar for our great citizens.
Thoughts?
All right. So these are the kinds of things that we were expecting. One, we expected President Trump to cut the fat out of the system. Also, a lot of that fat. Hey, Kojo, thanks for joining. We expected President Trump and his team of people to start cutting the fat out, and the fat usually involves some kind of kickbacks, paybacks, whatever the case is, to wherever. And I know that a lot of this is going to get, pointed out specifically. I'm sure that once Kash Patel really gets, moving over there at the FBI, that a lot of stuff is going to be found out real fast. With the diversity, equity, and inclusion, or diversity, inclusion, and equity die because it kills off businesses and stuff all the time. It hasn't been, if it's something that requires the government to fund it, then it probably isn't something that the people want. It is designed specifically to force an agenda down our throat. That's not what we want. We don't want our money used to force a ridiculous agenda that was originally created as some kind of a concept, a mental exercise in Ivy League schools to get people to think differently about how race has been an issue inside the United States. Originally decent, okay concept, but it spilled out into the regular world as if it was some kind of thing that we were supposed to go along with.
Yeah.
Either way,
I mean,
I look forward to more
there's
cuts.
a reason why he won by a landslide.
Yeah.
Because we're just tired of their bull crap.
Mm-hmm. Well, and of course the left is going to continue on with their, and not the left, the swamp donkeys. All right.
Yeah.
The swamp donkeys in general. So the rhinos, the Democrats, whatever,
Right.
we know who they are. They're going to continue to try with their lies, and the lies. He's going to take all the money out of Social Security. He wants to kill old people. Okay, are you sure that he's the one that wants to do that? Or are we going to go with the people that y'all stuffed in old folks' homes and wouldn't let them see their family and gave them jabs that we know now for a fact were actually killing people? I don't know. It seems kind of, a little sus, but I'm glad that President Trump's there, making sure that people are actually getting the things that the government should follow through with. And I think that that's the important part. Nobody's lost their Social Security check. Nobody's lost their SNAP card. Nobody's lost their Section 8 housing. All of those things are safe for now.
Yeah.
But I agree, Kojo. War costs too much.
Mm-hmm.
It costs too much in financial, like money. It costs too much in life. Life is much more precious than humanity really gives it credit for. And so we need to, definitely reduce what we're spending on all of this stuff. I'm assuming,
War.
This war is the most expensive thing at the moment, I think. That could be, and he corrected himself. I didn't see that. That could be correct. I know that there's going to be a lot of changes coming, and the sooner we can cut off the money spigot, the better things we'll get. It's going to take some time. I have no idea how long it's going to take. I have no idea what's going to, how long it's going to take to try to fix all of this mess. But it's been awful for a lot longer than any of us really know or imagine. Wendy says, off topic, but I was awake at 3 a.m. and saw a C-17. I believe it was. Show up on radar just outside El Paso. Went to Costa Rica and back. Was it American or was it Colombian?
Who knows?
Who knows? Maybe they're bringing people back.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a very real possibility coming out of El Paso. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Carol says, we have many illegal people in Texas. They own property, get loans, and drive nicer trucks than me. They work hard and mind their own business. This is a tough subject. It is a terrible subject to have to contend with. And I think that right now, and what President Trump has said more often than not, is the criminal illegals, understanding that they're all criminals because they came here illegally. What they're really focusing on right now, more than anything else, are the people who have come here and committed the crimes. I agree with you. I have worked side by side with people that have been here and they've already left of a questionable legal status, I'll go ahead and say. Great
Yeah.
people, work their ass off. They do amazing work and they do it for very little money. That's the real problem, though, is that they do it for less money. They can also unfortunately, be abused by those employers because who are they going to go to? The problem is only exacerbated by them being here. Should we make some kind of a process for people who have been here for a decade plus, never done anything wrong, work their ass off? Yeah, as a matter of fact, I'd say that more of the onus is on the employers who knowingly hire illegal aliens. I'm more pissed off at the business owners that do that because I know that they're shady pieces of shit.
Yeah.
I'm more pissed off at the business owners than I am pissed off at the people who have come here to try to escape the misery that's wherever they come from. I would love to fix all of those places, but I think that if we play our cards right, we can make this thing work beautifully for everybody.
Yeah.
Kojo says, happy Canada. Happy that Canada is being put back in its place. Yeah. I mean, well.
No, we have not. That video is coming up.
Yeah.
That is
wait,
coming up.
you're just responding, but if people are just listening.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
Have you covered Anthony Mackie's comments yet on Captain America? That is coming up.
That is coming up.
And then Kojo says, is Anthony Mackie's comments similar to Christian Bale's? Christian Bale says Hollywood and the world would be better if white dudes weren't in charge of everything. Well, not happy with Hollywood in general. I generally, Zulu Foxtrot Golf. I generally don't care. Hey, Randoon, thanks for joining.
Hey, Randoon, you ready?
Yeah.
How about some Kelly?
Yeah, go for some Kelly. You got hit.
All right, can I just be real with you for a minute today? Why are you spending so much time trying to fight the devil? I mean, seriously, all day long. So many Christians are just focused on the devil. Oh, devil's really been hammering me this week. Just got to keep up the good fight. Did you forget? He's already been defeated. You're fighting a defeated enemy. You see, 1 Peter 5:8 says, Satan roams around like a roaring lion, seeking who he may devour. Did you catch that? It said like a lion. Devil's not a lion. He's got big roar and no teeth. And it said who he may devour. You know what that means, don't you? He can't devour you unless you let him. You see, one of the greatest lies that the devil likes to tell you is that you need to be fighting him because he knows he's already been defeated. He just hopes you never figure it out. So he gets you focused and spending all your time on fighting him who has already been defeated. And since he gets all your focus, you end up missing out on so much of what God has for you. Look, I'm not saying you're one of them, but there are Christians whose entire focus is the devil. They are actively looking for opportunities to get in a fight, to cast out demons, to quickly point out other people who are trapped in sin. But can you show me one scripture where God says, keep your eyes focused on your enemy, spend all your time fighting the devil? Nah, they don't exist. My Bible says resist the devil and he will flee from you. Resist isn't fighting. Resist is ignoring. And why does ignoring him work? Because he's already been defeated. 1 John 5:4 says, every child of God defeats this evil world, and we achieve this victory through our faith. Couple things to point out here. Did it say every child of God defeats the devil? Nope, because he's already been defeated. What you and I have to fight every single day is our flesh in this evil world. But pay attention. It said we achieve this victory through our faith. And what does that mean? It means you achieve victory by believing you're victorious. That's why the Bible tells us God will keep us in perfect peace whose mind is set on him. And then 1 John 5:18 says, God's son Jesus holds us securely and the evil one cannot touch them. Oh, son, that's good. Listen, let me encourage you, friends. Stop chasing the devil around all day. Jesus beat that fool 2,000 years ago. If the devil's messing with you, tell that sucker where to go. He's only seeking who he may devour. Are you a child of God? Yes, I am. Then he can't devour you. So resist him and he's got to flee. Our job is to keep our mind set on the King. That's when you get perfect peace. That's when you see the hand of favor and blessing of God on your life. Look, if you're looking for the devil everywhere you go, you're going to find him. But if you're looking for Jesus everywhere you go, oh, son, you'll find him too. Shift your focus today. Back to the one who's already defeated it all. You're a child of God. Your enemy's been defeated. And you have victory, my friends. The question is, do you believe it? And think about that for a minute.
Hey, Sheriff Hector.
Thoughts?
All right. Yeah, Kojo, I agree. Kelly K Ministries, that guy, Kelly K, he knows his Bible. He is such an amazing teacher, and he certainly knows how to bring things together and make it make sense for a lot of people. I definitely believe that the Holy Spirit speaks through that guy so much, and I think it's important. And Kay thinks it's important. We think that his message needs to be shared because it certainly helps people figure some things out that have been not part of the regular conversation in America for so long, even though we're getting back to that now. This revival, the beginnings of the revival that we're going through are going to be led by people like Kelly K. And I am truly grateful for that. So what Kelly talks about, what you think about and think about, you bring about, to use one of the little esoteric kind of messages, what you know, where your attention goes, energy flows. So if your attention is on the Bible, is on the devil, guess what you're going to see? You're going to see all the misery. And I actually had this kind of a moment here this past weekend where I recognized that I was swirling around in all of the negativity. And I said, no, I have to change this right now. Otherwise, I'm going to continue to get that negativity the way it was before. So let me change my focus on what is good. Let me focus on the beauty that God brings to my life. And instantly, you know, little things started to change, you know, like the person that had their shoe in the dryer music thumping, you know, and you could hear it throughout the entire neighborhood. You know, it's, you know, it's those things. And I've never heard that before. But I recognize that my vibrational frequency can change these things that are going on in my life. And I really don't understand it. But to me, it's belief, or maybe it's coincidence and I'm just crazy. But I don't think so, because I've had so many little things like that where I recognize when I lose my focus on our Creator, that things don't go as well as I would like them to. But when my focus and my heart is directed specifically on God and just living the life that is supposed to be set forth on my path to find him, I notice that things get better. And you can't prove that to anybody. You have to do these experiments on your own. And people like Kelly K certainly help out. And if you don't know who Kelly K Ministries is, that's what his handle on TikTok is, Kelly K Ministries. YouTube. And he's
and Facebook.
So yeah, he's on those three places. So yeah, if y'all are interested, look him up. Kelly K Ministries.
Yep.
He's
You
awesome.
ready?
Yep.
Can you read that, please?
Matt Taibbi. Taibbi. I think it's Taibbi.
Taibbi, I think.
I think it's Taibbi. Matt Taibbi and Tucker Carlson suggest deep state involvement in the assassination attempts of Trump.
Ready? Let's listen.
Let's do it.
Then there's the whole question of the investigation of the Trump assassination incidents. We heard nothing about that. It was the most extraordinary news story that I've ever, I mean, apart from the disappearing president and the mysterious nomination and COVID, you know, presidential candidate and ex-president gets shot and the story's dead within like 48 hours. And all you read in the news from the FBI, there are these comments saying that they don't have any motive evidence. We've done 100 interviews, but we don't know anything about why this happened or, you know, what was going on there. Do you believe that? I have a very hard time believing that there's nothing interesting.
He was kind of your classic 20-year-old American kid with no social media presence whatsoever, ever. You know?
Right.
Just,
yes, exactly.
And it is a very typical American story where one day you just wake up and decide to die assassinating a presidential candidate for no reason.
Right. It's like
who has
like your first joint. Yeah.
Your first joint. Yeah.
And then the second one. I mean, you know, the Ryan Routh thing. That's not weird at all. Like, I just flew into Florida last night. I don't think I could have gotten my hands on, you know, a Chinese-made SKS semi-automatic rifle without help. I mean, I don't know.
Depends on
that's
what
being
part
a
of
little
town you go to.
conspiratorial. But look, there are a lot
he
of
met with the members of Congress. He lived in Ukraine. What? And we know that our intel agencies, working through the Ukrainian intel agencies, have murdered all these people and tried to murder all these people, including some I know personally. And so that's just a fact. And he was there with them. But this had nothing to do. And by the way, are those the only 2 attempts on Donald Trump's life, do you think, during this campaign season? I don't think so.
So
why don't we know more about that?
I don't know why we don't know more about that.
Yeah, right. So, and I've talked to the Trump people and Trump himself, and I'm being sincere. I really don't have a sense of what they think of all of that. I know that in public they haven't been anxious to talk about it at all.
So I've talked to some of them, and I've heard a lot of anger about this. That and I think this is the impetus for these investigations. I think probably the second attempt was the last straw for some of the people on his staff, and it's part of the reason why I think they're going to be very public about this.
It can't come too soon. I really think, and I will say, whatever people watching think of Trump, I know for a dead certain fact that a lot of the people who work for him really like him personally. So I think they are mad about it.
They're very mad about it.
Thoughts?
All right. So the information continues to come out, and it sounds like this might actually be some kind of a narrative. Of course, an ad pops up that they are going to be letting us know about. So just came out recently here. Let Biden go with Blinken to the electric chair. Russia asks U.S. to probe Biden and his henchmen for trying to assassinate Trump, Putin, Orban, Fico, and other world leaders. And so these are the kinds of things that we're going to be seeing. Also, I'm going to say, Matt Taibbi. Taibbi. Sorry, man. If you hear this, I'm sorry I butchered your name. Anyways, he was the one that did the Twitter files. He was the one that kind of took the lead on all of that. So this is he and Tucker Carlson aren't going to be making these comments if they can't back it up, because they are legitimate, like real life journalists, unlike this other crap that they've been telling us are journalists. These real life journalists, they understand that they are responsible for every word that they say because they are professionals and they've been doing it for so long. So they have a lot more personal liability. But when there are things like both of the assassins were on a BlackRock advertisement. I don't know what the hell BlackRock needs to advertise for, but whatever. Since both of those would-be assassins were on a BlackRock advertisement, I'm going to say that there's some weird stuff going on. It's all leading to something where we are being informed one little piece at a time. Now, granted, there's a lot of people who've been paying attention to this stuff for a long time, and they already understand this. That's not necessarily for you, other than the fact that if you already understand all this, what this really means is get ready to explain some of this stuff to people, because this is what's coming down the pipeline. And when people start to find out what's really going on, they're going to lose their minds. But that's why the conspiracy theorists, and RFK Jr. did an amazing job wrecking the whole conspiracy theory. Like that, I don't think that after what RFK Jr. said today about being a conspiracy theorist, I don't think that word will ever have power like it did ever again, because all of these truths have come out. And so people are going to start talking to the people who have been talking about this the whole time, as it starts to finally make sense to these people who've had their head in the sand the whole time. Again, it's not their fault, because we were all asleep at some point because of the massive psychological operation that was being perpetrated against the people of the United States for who knows how long. All we know is that we have these psychopaths who've been running this country for a long time.
Right? And boy, that's psychopath is true.
I wish I could find it. I had a specific word that actually described all of these people specifically, but they were in reference to the psychopaths who are running these European nations. I'll have to look it up. Anyways.
Right. Are you ready?
Yes.
Can you read that, please?
Former RFK Jr. running mate Nicole Shanahan says, Dear U.S. Senators, Bobby may play nice. I won't.
Ready?
Are they?
I don't know if they are. Let's listen.
Yep.
Hey everyone, tomorrow is a pivotal moment in our nation's history. At 10 a.m. Eastern Time, RFK will sit in front of the Senate Finance Committee for his confirmation hearing to be our nation's next Secretary of Health and Human Services. I urge everyone to call their U.S. senators over the following days and demand they vote yes on Bobby's nomination. He is more than qualified. He's proven, principled, and prepared to lead. I'll share a list below of key senators. If they represent your state, they need to hear from you. If they don't, please call your own senator and ask them to vote yes. We need as many votes as we can get. So this hasn't been widely reported, but in 2020, I cut large checks to Chuck Schumer to help Democrats flip 2 Senate seats in Georgia from red to blue. The 2 candidates I helped elect, Senator Raphael Warnock and Senator John Ossoff, please know I will be watching your votes very closely. I will make it my personal mission that you lose your seats in the Senate if you vote against the future health of America's children. And more than that, I also want to say to Senators Mitch McConnell, Lindsey Graham, Lisa Murkowski, Susan Collins, Bill Cassidy, Tom Tillis, James Lankford, Cory Booker, John Fetterman, Bernie Sanders, and Catherine Cortez Masto, this is a bipartisan message, and it comes directly from me. While Bobby may be willing to play nice, I won't. If you vote against him, I will personally fund challengers to primary you in your next election, and I will enlist hundreds of thousands to join me. Big Pharma and Big Ag have exploited us for far too long. It ends now. You're either on the side of transparency and accountability, or you are standing in the way. The choice is yours. Please choose wisely.
All right. So that was yesterday talking about what's going on today.
Thoughts?
And we should actively speak to our elected representatives. I know that I've tried out here and it has fallen on deaf ears every single time, to include state and state, certainly state kind of representatives. So, but it's always good to make sure your voice is heard. But I have a feeling that a lot of this stuff is going to be getting pushed through anyways. As much as Q talked about you're watching a movie, I see that in so many ways that a lot of this seems to one side makes one move, but the other side already has, everything kind of in place. So that way, no matter what move they make, it's wrong. And that's what I'm saying. But we should always make sure that we're trying to take an active part. And I say that and recognize that I need to be more active, even if they don't listen to me. Shouldn't matter.
I mean, it does suck when you get like the canned letter back and it has nothing to do with what you sent them.
And that was the thing that was frustrating.
Yes,
is
it
I'd
is
send a message,
very frustrating.
about, like VA issues, and they send me some canned letter back about nuclear non-proliferation. What the hell are you talking about? Yeah.
That's not even what I was
Yeah, that's not even what I was
about.
talking about. I was talking about how your Veterans Administration has sucked donkey balls for, years. Whatever.
And years. And years.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Can you read that, please?
CNN fake news icon Jim Acosta bids farewell in a disgusting send-off.
Let's listen.
Why? Why do we have to? Come on.
Let's just
whatever. Just get on with the show.
Just wanted to end today's show by thanking all of the wonderful people who work behind the scenes at this network. You may have seen some reports about me and the show. And after giving all of this some careful
It's a show, all right.
consideration and weighing an alternative time slot CNN offered me, I've decided to move on. I am grateful to CNN for the nearly 18 years I've spent here doing the news. People often ask me if the highlight of my career at CNN was at the White House covering Donald Trump. Actually, no. That moment came here when I covered former President Barack Obama's trip to Cuba in 2016 and had the chance to question the dictator there, Raul Castro, about the island's political prisoners. As the son of a Cuban refugee, I took home this lesson. It is never a good time to bow down to a tyrant. I've always believed it's the job of the press to hold power to account. I've always tried to do that here at CNN, and I plan on doing all of that in the future. one final message. Don't give in to the lies. Don't give in to the fear. Hold on to the truth and to hope. Even if you have to get out your phone, record that message. I will not give in to the lies. I will not give in to the fear. Post it on your social media so people can hear from you too. I'll have more to say about my plans in the coming days, but until then, I want to thank all of you for tuning in. It has been an honor to be welcomed into your home for all these years. That's the news. Reporting from Washington, I'm Jim Acosta.
Thoughts?
So sad.
Meh.
Whatever. Dude, nobody cares. Like, what, 12 people watch CNN?
Exactly.
You know, his mom, his dad.
I
And
stand by my statement.
Yeah.
He is a punk.
he is a punk. Whatever. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you.
Correct.
Yeah. And good luck with your future endeavors of being insignificant.
And there you have it.
The end.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Can you read that, please?
Marc Andreessen lays out how the Democrats' censorship regime is in deep legal trouble.
Let's listen.
All right.
You've mentioned censorship a few times. Let us, if we can, go deep into the darkness of the past. So you are a good person to speak about the history of this because you were there on the ground floor. Take me through that if you can.
Basically, the government, over time, and then culminating in 2020, 2021, in the last 4 years, just decided that the First Amendment didn't apply to them. And they just decided that federal laws around free speech and around conspiracies to take away the rights of citizens just don't apply. And they just decided that they can just arbitrarily pressure, just like literally arbitrarily call up companies and threaten and bully, and yell and scream and threaten repercussions and force them to censor. And there's this whole
Like they
thing
didn't
of
want
like,
to.
well, the First Amendment only applies to the government; it doesn't apply to companies. It's like, well, there's actually a little bit of nuance to that. First of all, it definitely applies to the government. Like 100%, the First Amendment applies to the government. By the way, so does the Fourth Amendment and the Fifth Amendment, including the right to due process, also applies to the government. There was no due process at all to any of the censorship regime that was put in place. There was no due process put in place, by the way, for debanking either. Those are just as serious violations as the free speech violations. And so this is just like flagrant unconstitutional behavior. And then there are specific federal
called treason.
It's 18241 and 18242. And one of them applies to federal employees, government employees, and the other one applies to private actors. Around what's called deprivation of rights and conspiracy to deprive rights. And it is not legal, according to the United States Criminal Code, for government employees or in a conspiracy private entities to take away constitutional rights. The government employees, for sure, have misbehaved. The companies, there's a very interesting question there as to whether they are victims or perpetrators or both. They will defend and they will argue, and I believe they have a good case that they are victims, not perpetrators, right? They are the downstream subjects of pressure, not the cause, not the cause of pressure. But there's a big swath of people who are in the middle, and specifically the ones that are funded by the government that I think are in possibly pretty big trouble. And that's all of these third-party censorship bureaus. The one that sort of is most obvious is the so-called Stanford Internet Observatory. That got booted up there over the last several years, and they basically were funded by the federal government to be third-party censorship operations, and they're private sector actors, but acting with federal funding, and so it puts them in this very interesting spot where there could be very obvious theory under which they're basically acting as agents of the government, and so I think they're also very exposed on this and have behaved in just flagrantly illegal ways.
So fundamentally, government should not do any kind of pressure, even soft pressure, on companies to censor.
Can't.
No shit.
Not allowed.
It really is disturbing. I mean, it probably started soft, lightly, slowly, and then it escalates as the old will to power will instruct them to do. Because you get. That's why there's protection, because you can't put a check on power for government, right?
There are so many ways that they can get you. Like, there are so many ways they can come at you and get you. The dynamic played out online, which is you had absolute conformity on the social networks, like literally enforced by the social networks themselves through censorship and then also through cancellation campaigns and mobbing and shaming, right? I think basically two things broke it. One is Substack. And I'm super proud of those guys because they started from scratch and declared right up front that they were going to be a free speech platform. And they came under intense pressure, including from the press, and they tried to just beat them to the ground and kill them. And intense pressure, by the way, from let's say certain of the platform companies, basically threatening them. And they stood up to it. And sitting here today, they have the widest spectrum of speech and conversation anywhere on planet Earth, and they've done a great job. And it's worked, by the way. It's great. And then obviously Elon, with X was the hammer blow. Elon sticks his hand up and says the emperor is actually wearing no clothes, right? That famous parable, right? So one person stands up and does it, and literally that person is standing there by themselves, and everybody else in the audience is like, ooh, I wonder what's going to happen to that guy, right? But again, nobody knows. Elon doesn't know. The first guy doesn't know. Other people don't know, like, which way is this going to go? And it may be that that's a minority position, and that's a way to get yourself killed, or it may be that that's the majority position, and you are now the leader of a revolution. And then basically, of course, what happens is, okay, the first guy does that, doesn't get killed. The second guy does, well, a lot of the time that guy does get killed. But when the guy doesn't get killed, then a second guy pops his head up, says the same thing. All right, now you've got two leads to 4, 4 leads to 8, 8 leads to 16. And then as we saw with the fall of the Berlin Wall, this is what happened in Russia and Eastern Europe in 89. When it goes, it can go, right? And then it rips. And then what happens is very, very quickly, if it turns out that you had a large percentage of the population that actually believe the different thing, it turns out all of a sudden everybody has this giant epiphany that says, oh, I'm actually part of the majority. And at that point, like, you are on the freight train of revolution, right? Like, it is rolling.
Thoughts?
Oh, my bad. All right.
Thoughts?
I've got some real strong opinions about this because I remember getting booted off of Facebook because I was posting about Obama's fake ass birth certificate. I can't wait till that comes out because I was banned for 3 years.
Yes.
All right. Let's go with the assumption because they're trying to pump Mark Zuckerberg up as if he was just some kind of lonely little victim or whatever the case is, right? So, he was just a victim of circumstances, Curly over here, right? I'm just a victim of circumstances.
Right.
Anyway, so, okay, we'll run with that lie or narrative, excuse me. And so he had all of these people that was hired in his company that I'm going to assume he had no say in whatsoever. Although, Facebook appears to be a DARPA project. All these people were put in that were, former CIA, NSA, et cetera, et cetera. It's no surprise that this has been going on forever and a day. I'm going to say that there are going to be very few people who are going to be able to legally wrangle their way out of this, nor should they be allowed to, because they are traitors. They are traitors to the people, especially if they took an oath to the Constitution. Then they understand what freedom of speech is. And they also understand beyond a shadow of a doubt that the First Amendment or all of the amendments are designed to be a restriction on the government and not the people. It doesn't grant us rights. It tells the government, know your frickin' role. And that's not what happened. And so these traitorous, treasonous pieces of shit, worthless, supposedly human beings who wanted to enslave everybody because really we were telling the truth, and the truth made their lives look really bad, like it really was. Yeah, they deserve traitors treatment, and they should be held to account. There should be very few people who are allowed to weasel out of this. I know some are going to find their way out of it because they made deals, this and that and the other thing. Fine, I get it. But
Right.
Elon Musk set the standard. And it's not just Elon Musk, because there were plenty of people, my wife included, Kay, where she had to lose her job because she chose not to take the clot shot. You know what? It's about standing up. And I think that Samuel Adams' quote is perfect here. And we should keep this American, very American mentality. If ye love wealth better than liberty, the tranquility of servitude better than the animating contest of freedom, go home from us in peace. We ask not your counsels or arms. Crouch down and lick the hand which feeds you. May your chains set lightly upon you, and may posterity forget that ye were our countrymen. You don't deserve this country if you were part of this conspiracy.
Amen.
And you stole. every bit. See, the problem that I think a lot of people aren't understanding is that treason is a crime against every single person here in this nation and should be
Yes.
dealt with accordingly. It's not a crime against one person.
Right.
It's trying to murder all 300 million people so they can have what?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm done with that. Thank you, Aaron. I appreciate it.
You ready?
Yes.
How about some Craig?
Yeah, I could use some Craig after that. Craig Groeschel's amazing.
Let's listen.
All right.
Why is it that deep down so many of us don't really want God? The reason that we don't really want God is because we don't know how good God really is. And the only way to know how good he is to put him first. The only way to know how good he is to taste and see that the Lord is good. To seek first his kingdom and his righteousness above anything else, above your hobbies, your wants, your desires, your preferences, to seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness.
Thoughts?
Seek first the kingdom of God. It's really the answer to so much, is understanding that when we seek his kingdom first, everything we do that follows from that will be aided and helped because we are trying to do it for him. And he has that plan for us. But when we do things for these selfish desires, then it really makes a real mess of everything. And so it's always important to make sure that God is first in our lives. I know you're busy over there. I ran out of stuff to talk about.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Can you read that, please?
Racial grievance industry. Never heard that. That kind of gave me a giggle. Racial grievance industry profiteer Al Sharpton applauds Costco for sticking with its woke dye policies.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
DIE.
Yeah.
Let's listen.
It kills companies.
It does.
Yeah, it's where companies go to die. Just ask Queer Beer. I mean, Bud Light.
Well, let's listen.
All right.
Corporations came forward and said, we're going to do diversity. We're going to do this because racism is dealt with. And for Donald Trump to be able to cancel a commitment they made is an outright affront to the black community, brown community, LGBTQ, gay community, and women that they committed to. So that is why we will stand with those that stand with us. Costco immediately stepped out and said that they would not back off DEI. On last Monday, Martin Luther King holiday, I announced that for 90 days we're going to research the company that we find that has made the most affront. We will call a boycott. But today we are calling a buy-in. I have bought 100 people $25 gift certificates. We're going shopping at Costco because they've stood with us. People that stand with us, we will stand with them. People that do not stand with us, let Donald Trump stop us in 90 days from boycotting them. We will not pay to be rejected and disrespected. Thank you. They're on your side. You can't say no to that. That's how that's going now. Pete, see how they are? Pete, shopping for justice. Oh, yeah.
Thoughts? Happy early birthday,
Happy
Jenny.
early birthday, Jenny.
Watch out for the frogs, Jenny.
Watch out for the frogs, Jenny. Well, Kay.
Thoughts?
Well, I guess Kay's going to have to learn how to make a chicken bake, because other than that, I have absolutely no reason to go there whatsoever.
We haven't been to Costco
We
in
haven't-
so
no, we-
long because they've been this way for a long time now.
Yeah, they have.
And exactly, Mike, $25 won't buy you much at Costco. So he can sit there and I'm gonna give people $25 gift certificate. Well, aren't you special there, punk boy?
What can't you get for $25 at a warehouse store?
I know.
Get a gross of gum.
Right?
I don't even know if it'll buy you the gum anymore. Wow.
Ugh.
Just a really big bag of chips.
Exactly, Aaron. Their prices haven't been anything special in years.
F. Glenn, they about to loot Costco.
Right?
That couldn't happen to a better company. May they go bankrupt.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go
Enjoy it, BlackRock. It's
go-
not much
yeah.
longer. Your days are numbered, BlackRock and Vanguard.
Go broke.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
Can you read that, please?
The most historic 100 hours in American history.
Let's listen.
Let's listen.
The golden age of America begins right now. America's decline is over. We will be working to meet every crisis with dignity and power and strength. We will move with purpose and speed to bring back hope, prosperity, safety, and peace for citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed. For American citizens, January 20th, 2025 is Liberation Day. In everything we do, my administration will be inspired by a strong pursuit of excellence and unrelenting success. America will reclaim its rightful place as the greatest, most powerful, most respected nation on earth. I am with you. I will fight for you, and I will win for you. We will not be conquered. We will not be intimidated. We will not be broken, and we will not fail. From this day on, the United States of America will be a free, sovereign, and independent nation. We will stand bravely. We will live proudly. We will dream boldly, and nothing will stand in our way because we are Americans. The future is ours, and our golden age has just begun. The golden age of America begins right now.
Thoughts?
It's just the beginning, friends. It's just the beginning. That's what's been done in the first 100 hours. I can't wait to see what happens in the first 100 days.
I know.
It is going to be interesting to continue to watch this. I know that there's some things that have seemed a little off, and each administration is not perfect. But regardless, so much of what he's been doing has been exactly what the American people need. And I also know that these things that don't necessarily make sense to me at this point in time might make more sense in the future. Also, like it's kind of like the Gulf of America thing. There are 3 countries that are touching the Gulf of Mexico, and all 3 of those countries are in America. And so it makes more sense to call it the Gulf of America. But even more so than that, all of the laws that were in regards to the Gulf of Mexico no longer apply, because there's no such thing as the Gulf of Mexico anymore.
That is correct.
Drill, baby, drill.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Can you read that, please?
Vincent Oshana's impression of Gavin Newsom is hilariously accurate.
Let's listen.
All right.
Governor Newsom, wildfires have destroyed millions of acres of the state, displaced countless amounts of family. Do you take responsibility for any of this? And is there anything more you think you could have done?
Not really. I think these fires were very devastating. I think the full scope of what actually has happened, we're not there yet. Okay, these people's houses are just destroyed. People are suffering. People are sad. but we're Californians. We're going to push through. We're going to push through. And where we're going, the vision is 10 times bigger than anybody else can even imagine.
Former President Trump has recently criticized your leadership, saying that you failed California. What's your response to him, and what does the future of California look like?
To be honest with you, I try to block that rhetoric, because the words that come out of his mouth, all the words out of his lips, they don't mean anything to me. He needs to use these more, because the future of California is bright. It's so bright. When you really try to look at it, I mean, really, really look at how bright it is, you're going to need shades to live in California 24 hours a day.
Critics are saying that you're all hand gestures and no action. What's your response to that?
I think people are wrong. Okay, they need to wake up. I speak with passion. I speak with fire, no pun intended. And I feel if I use my hands a lot, people won't be focused on the lies that are coming out of my mouth, because I lie a lot. So I want to distract them with my hands.
Interesting. Wait.
What?
Where'd my gum go?
To be honest with you, I have no idea. Would you look at that? You know what? This gum is just like California. It's sticky, it's resilient, and it'll bounce back.
You're a scumbag.
Thank you.
How the hell is that on YouTube?
Thoughts?
How the hell is that on YouTube?
I
I guess
know.
because it's comedy.
Yeah, comedy.
I'm hilarious.
You are.
All right. Anyway, that was pretty good.
That was gross, by the way.
That was gross.
Are you ready?
Yeah, let's move on.
Can you read that, please?
Yes, Ben Carson tells the story of George Washington, the bulletproof president.
Let's listen.
Mm-hmm.
There was a story that I heard you speak, and I would love for you to share it with my audience. It was the story about George Washington.
The bulletproof president?
Yeah.
You know, George Washington was a courier for General Braddock, one of the English generals during the French and Indian War. All of the couriers were killed, and Washington had 2 horses shot from beneath him, and he had 4 bullet holes in his jacket, but no flesh wounds. He had bullet fragments in his hair, no flesh wounds. Many years later, he still hadn't become president yet, but he was back in the area, and one of the Indian chiefs who had been involved was elderly at that point, near death. He said to his braves, "Take me to see this man. I must see him before I die." And when they brought him in the presence of Washington, he said, "Sir, I'm an expert marksman, and I shot you 17 times. And my men shot you. And pretty soon I told them to stop wasting their bullets. And I just wanted to meet the man who was protected by the great presence above." That story used to be in all of our history books until it became politically incorrect.
Why was it politically incorrect?
God.
I'm not liking the devil. It's getting a little annoying for me.
Thoughts?
What a great story. These are the kind of stories that they took out of the American history book because it shows a different side, the truth about America, and that we did work together with these people. It's not all everything, these lies and these embellishments of what our supposed history was. I don't know how we're going to get our history back, but I can tell you that stories like this are stories that need to be told, because that is the American spirit, that we can forgive one another and that we can work with each other and have admiration. And this is something that a lot of people don't understand, is you can have admiration for somebody who's on the other side of the war, and you can appreciate the fact that they're a warrior for the things that they believe in, just as much as they can appreciate the other side of the war that's going on. And if people that fought against each other can come together and have a mutual respect and admiration for each other, then why don't Americans have the ability to have that mutual respect and understanding that we once had? And I think that that's the reason why they took that story out of the history books, because it does show that we can reach across and we can shake hands with the people that we disagree with. At the end of the day, we're both human beings, and that just because things may have been heated before does not mean that we have to continue to hate them. Hate is the disease. Hate is the problem, and that's what we need to overcome. And the only way to overcome hate is with love. And that is a beautiful story of love, because it's an understanding that the Creator above all, the one that gives us all the breath of life, is the one that we should appreciate, that they put people like that in front of us. So we need to learn to love the people on the other side just as much as they need to learn how to love anybody but themselves. But that's another story altogether. But we got to get back to this place of love. And I know that the other side isn't very good about reaching out for any number of reasons. So we need to make sure that we provide that love as best as we can. So that way, these people who do disagree with us will actually consider spending time with us, and they'll realize that we're just as human as they are.
Exactly. Not yet, Jenny. They did not vote on RFK yet. Not yet.
Not yet. All right. There we go. Got that
Ready?
answer. Yes, ma'am.
Let's listen.
All right.
Here's a word that you might not want to hear. There will be certain seasons when God won't make a way for you. You're going to have to put your big boy pants on, sit in the middle of your trouble, and endure it. What if he don't pay the bill? What you going to do? Turn your back on him? Or you going to stand there and say, even if he don't, I know God can. See, there are two types of people sitting on your road. One of y'all only shout when he bring you out of it. But then one of y'all had to praise God while you were still waiting on it. I dare you to reach over your neighbor and high five another neighbor and say, endure it. Money low, endure it. People lying on you, endure it. Folk walk out your life, endure it. Family acting fake, endure it. Your body may be going through pains, endure it. I wish I had 100 people who would just jump up and type, I will
Will endure it.
Oh, endure. Oh, they cut it off too early.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, endurance. Isn't that a tough one? Did you want to say thoughts first? Do you want me to remove
yes.
that? Here,
Thoughts.
here we go. Well, we're having a moment there, aren't we? And thank you for joining us for our super professional podcast. Anyways, endurance. Boy, is that a tough one. But you know what? It's that endurance that makes us stronger in so many ways. It's that endurance that whether or not you think you have endurance, you've made it this far, have you not?
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, you have endurance. You have endured so much. And so really one of the, Kay hates this, suffer in silence. Going around telling everybody about how miserable everything isn't the top of anybody's priority list. So we must endure. And it doesn't mean that you can't talk to people about your pain, because it is important to make sure that you can communicate things. But at the same time, don't dwell on it. That's not enduring the struggles and the problems that you have in life. But be able to recognize that these things are in your life for a reason. And building endurance is probably one of those things. We will continue to have struggles and pain in life. What was that meme that I had earlier? I don't have my phone on me. I'll post it on the X or Telegram. Either way, things are going to suck. And when those things that suck end, guess what's going to take its place? More things that suck.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just part of life, right? And so recognize that endurance is an extremely important part of just merely living, and recognize that endurance that you have is in fact making you stronger. So accept the fact that you're stronger than you think you are, and that these, as difficult as challenges may be in life, it really is a blessing for us, because it does make us better. There's no real way to sugarcoat that other than the fact that it's going to happen. So you may as well try to enjoy as much of your life as you possibly can.
Yep. And I mean, it's just one of those things. Everyone does struggle.
Yeah.
Everyone.
The struggle is real.
And sometimes you just got to grab a box of straws and
Suck it up.
the F up.
Yep. Grab a box of straws and suck it up.
You ready?
Yeah.
Can you read that, please?
Brave New World actor Anthony Mackie says Captain America shouldn't represent America.
Let's listen.
Clown.
Yeah.
Brave New World actor Anthony Mackie says that Captain America shouldn't represent America. Okay. I mean, I no longer get surprised by stupid things said by Hollywood actors. He was in Italy at the time promoting this movie, which is supposed to be a disaster. I know that social media comments have been very, let's just say, unwoke. I mean, yeah, I get it. They hate America. They hate representing America. But I would argue that if you're going to play a character such as Captain America, you should probably not hate America so much, even if you're in Italy. Responses across social media have been very, very, very angry. Let's just say that, and rightly so. Look, I mean, there's still a lot of people out there. I'm not one of them, but there's still a lot of people out there who enjoy the Marvel universe, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, maybe the comic books or whatever. And over and over and over again, they get betrayed by the wokesters in Hollywood who demand social justice, who demand that you hate America as much as they do, and they do truly, legitimately hate America. Let's just go ahead and play this clip.
For me, Captain America represents a lot of different things, and I don't think the term, America should be one of those representations. Like, it's about a man who keeps his word, who has honor, dignity, and integrity. Someone who is trustworthy and dependent.
Okay, I'm still chewing on a macadamia nut, so I was going to let the whole thing play, but I just can't because that's just awful. Okay, I'm not going to tell you what to do. This is still America. I know I myself have been boycotting Hollywood for a very long time, and again, you can do what you want, but I would say nothing would make me happier from a Hollywood perspective. Not that I care, but nothing would make me happier than for this movie and this woke actor to just absolutely bomb. Join me live Monday through Friday.
JD Record, he's pretty good. All right, so yeah, surprise! Hollywood hates America.
Not shocked.
Not shocked
At all.
And is it a surprise that they would put an American-hating person as Captain? He's Captain America now.
Now, yes.
What happened to the other Captain America?
He quit.
Oh, well, he said some woke ass things too. It's been a woke, not series. What do you call it?
Series.
Yeah, whatever.
I mean,
Anyways, it's been woke forever and a day. It's stop giving your money to Hollywood. Stop caring about these worthless people that have no idea what real life is about. The only way they got there, apparently, based off of my understanding of Hollywood, is apparently they can take it in the keister pretty good and they might actually enjoy it. But other than that, they share really nothing with the rest of the world. And if that's what you do for you, that's fine, but it certainly doesn't make you a good actor, and it certainly doesn't make anybody care about anything that you have to say. Hell, people don't care about what I have to say a lot of the times. But either way, it's like, why are you hating? Why are you hating on the place that got you all this money and everything that you got? Even if you are from another country and you come to Hollywood and you make lots of money, does that mean that you should still hate the country that's wasted all of their money watching your stupid ass movies that nobody, it's just hollow. It's hollow entertainment, and he's a hollow human being, and there's absolutely no reason for us to care about anything that he says. As a matter of fact, I don't even know why we're talking about him. Chachi says they're just mad they ain't making money anymore. Well, it's their own damn fault, though, because they were too busy trying to tell us that Biden was awesome and that Kamala, the laughing hyena, was somehow brilliant, and all of these, they have no value add. And most of America, and more of America, is waking up to the fact that they're just some weird ass people in Hollywood, and it seems like that's mostly what it takes to be in their little world, and want nothing to do with it.
Exactly.
Until it gets fixed.
Yeah. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Can you read that, please?
Where'd my glasses go? All right. F-35 crashes at Eielson Air Force Base in Alaska as pilot ejects safely.
Let's watch.
All right. Well, there goes a couple billion, 30, 40 billion. How much are those damn things?
A lot.
A waste of money.
Thoughts?
Anybody know how to keep a damn phone steady?
I know.
Ain't nothing going to happen to you hiding all the way back there behind all those jets and all that equipment. Just make a damn good movie. Anyways, you know, how much do those stupid things cost? I got to look this up real quick.
I know it's a
How
lot.
much do the F-35 cost? Let's see. F-35A, $82.5 million. F-35B, $109 million, and F-35C, $102.1 million a copy. So, $100 million just
Yeah, gone.
gone. Yeah. Make the Air Force, you know, work on a budget for a change. That's what needs to happen. Air Force is just bloviated mess. I mean, they're helpful. Don't get me wrong. The Air Force is great and it's filled with great people, but they need to learn how to do things like within some kind of a budget. That's something the Air Force has never understood as a budget.
No, they're not good at that at all.
No. And we have amazing pilots. Maybe we should give our pilots the opportunity and stop making a, you know, super weapon like the Nazis did.
Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Can you read that, please?
Oh, jeez. Eyeballs are going for some reason. Ex-Muslim reveals why he left Muhammad to follow Jesus Christ.
Ready?
Yes.
You cannot compare Jesus with Muhammad. Jesus never killed a person. He never killed an apostate. He never waged a war. So he was a role model for me. And that's why I left Muhammad and I wanted to follow Jesus. When I studied the life of Muhammad, in 10 years, he waged 83 wars in 10 years, 27 wars and 56 raids in 10 years. And you are going to teach me that Islam is peaceful? No, it's not peaceful. Are you going to give a Nobel Prize for somebody who waged 83 wars? No, you will not. Muhammad, he had many wives, 11 of them. One of them, she was 9 years old. He was 53. I am 50. I cannot marry a girl that has 9 years old. You cannot. That's abuse.
Thoughts?
All right. I know that the religious conversation is kind of becoming a topic. This is a good explanation as to why he left. And I think that that's important for people to understand, that people have to come to their own conclusions at their own time. And going after and attacking people because of their faith is not, one, it's un-American, and two, it's not going to help anything. A rational conversation is exactly what's needed. But because everything has been designed to specifically drive a wedge between each and every American citizen for so long, we don't even know how to have these, quite honestly, extremely important conversations. But we need to find, and the best way to have these conversations is to find the ground where we can agree. And there are even the Prophet Muhammad talked about Jesus Christ and the fact that he is the way, right? And so understanding that God shines his light on everybody means that there are lessons that we are to learn from what this entire religion is teaching the world. And so what we need to do is we need to extrapolate and figure out exactly why all of these various religions are around, if it is in fact one true religion. I mean, most of the planet believes in the exact same God. So therefore, there is something there. And I know that a lot of people are going to disagree that they don't believe in the same God, but it's out there, right? And again, that those divisive comments aren't going to help to draw people in to the very important conversation that we need to have and should be having about God every single day. Praise the Lord. Glory, hallelujah.
Exactly. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
How about some Tucker?
All right.
Let's listen.
Mm-hmm.
The lengths to which permanent Washington is going to, say, sabotage Tulsi Gabbard, who's an Army officer who's had a clearance for more than a decade, carries an automatic weapon. I mean, clearly we trust her with America's, defense. Why can't we trust her with America's secrets? Well, of course we can. So what is this? And it really is, people are panicked that what they've been doing is going to come to light, I think.
Well, they should be panicked because if you read the executive order on the weaponization of government, it specifically empowers the Director of National Intelligence to conduct a wide-ranging report into the possible misdeeds of the entire intelligence community and orders her to come up with, anything negative that they can find.
Holy shit.
So can you imagine?
No.
Right? That's like trying to make a list of everything. She'll be doing it from now to the end of time, but
Thoughts?
Boy, that is a tall task. But the panic that it's causing is well deserved. And the people who have been traitors to this nation, you should be panicking, and you should be recognizing that you don't have too many options and that things aren't going to end well for you. So here's the thing is it's all going to come out. That which was hidden in the dark shall be brought to the light. And that's the phase in life that we're all getting really close to. People are going to react poorly. People are going to do dumb things. And sadly, I know that the Q post about suicide weekend is a possible. Yeah, it is still more than likely going to happen. I pray not, because that's not good, because I don't want that to happen. As a matter of fact, I know that with all of the building that they're doing in Guantanamo Bay and other islands around the world, the Napoleon way of doing things is sending them to some far off island that nobody really knows about and nobody's allowed to get close. Probably not a bad idea. And it's probably the way a lot of things are going to happen. It's going to be interesting. And I don't know how much they're actually going to tell us, but the intelligence community is filled with amazing people who love the Constitution more than most of anybody here would even possibly be able to fathom. And they've been fighting and knowing what's going on in the background this entire time. And that's how we get the whole Q thing. And it's not just the intelligence community. There are people in the FBI. There are people in the ATF, et cetera. It's at name an agency. There's people who have been fighting for the Constitution this entire time. The beautiful thing is that all those people who have been fighting for the Constitution and the true American way of life are finally going to get that chance to be heard, and they can secure the nation, which in the end is exactly what their oath was. And they all deserve a true kudos and our appreciation for the people who were doing it right the whole time and will probably never hear their names other than the few people that President Trump has highlighted that are in his very close orbit. Jenny says, central casting. Yeah, there's part of that too, because most of these people are already gone. And yeah, I agree with you. That's why so many people look so weird. Like Gavin Newsom, after he had that, what was it, 10 days or 15 days, 2 weeks of being gone. And then all of that. And then, of course, before he disappeared, there was that whole casting call or something like that. Yeah.
Yes.
All very strange. All very strange.
Gavin lookalikes.
Yeah. Was a casting call specifically.
Yes.
I wish we could have cataloged all the shows that we did earlier.
I know.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway.
Are you ready?
Mhm.
Let's listen.
All right, let's listen.
I'm gonna say this loud enough for the people in the back. You know when your life's gonna change? When you stop running back to the things that God is trying to save you from. When you stop pressing rewind on the things that need to be deleted from your life. When you stop hanging on to the things that you know you need to let go of. Let me tell you this, moving on isn't always about knowing where you're going. It's about knowing where you're no longer stand and what you refuse to go back to. Straight up.
Thoughts?
The only way we're going to be able to grow is if we can get past the things that have been holding us back this entire time. And that requires constant effort. And if you make a mistake, that's okay. You're forgiven. Just pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and get back on the path. That's really all it is. Know that you're going to make mistakes. You're a human being. We're all human beings. forgive yourself. That's probably one of the most important things. And it's
Mhm.
easier to forgive yourself the more you focus your day on God and making sure that we're doing the right things. I know I make mistakes all the time. I know the Bible says that we need to watch our language, and I get a little salty on here sometimes. But you know what? I recognize that there are other things that I'm working on in life, but you know, we make the progress wherever we can at any given moment. And so we're making sure that we are following God and know that it's all going to be okay.
We have no choice
Mm-hmm.
but to stay in faith. The faith of a mustard seed. That's all it takes.
There it is.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Let's listen.
To Lakin's family, we will keep Lakin's memory alive in our hearts forever, everyone's hearts. With today's action, her name will also live forever in the laws of our country. And this is a very important law. This is something that has brought Democrats and Republicans together. That's not easy to do. Lakin did it. Lakin did it. America will never, ever forget Lakin Hope Riley.
Thoughts?
That name should be taught, and it should be in the history books. And it's something that children should understand, that this is the way they tried to steal the American the American Republic from the people of this nation. That name needs to be there, and it needs to be remembered. And because of that sacrifice, we need to make sure that because she was martyred, that her martyrdom is there to make sure that the Constitution of this country, that if it was followed properly, she'd still be alive, but she wasn't. So let's make sure that these martyrs that have died, like the J6ers too, all of these martyrs, their names will be in the history books, so that way we can prevent this kind of crap from happening again in the future.
It is the fact that he signed that. It just makes me so happy today.
It's what needed to happen.
Yes.
Agreed.
Yep. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
I got sassy. Let's listen.
All right.
By the way,
Microphones.
the liberal left is finally getting what they deserve. Take a listen.
All right.
I fucking told you I told you it happened. A liberal's being arrested today. This time over a TikTok. Tic-tac-toe. This is Indiana man Douglas Thring. Liberal or Trump hater, who knows? Honey, they picked him up and hauled him off this week for threatening to shrill Donald Trump and threatening to overthrow the government on this app. With what? That Adam's apple. Just trip people walk by. At this rate, you know they're going to take this app away from us. In cute winter boots and dumbassery, it's gone. Gone. It's so gone. One of his videos said, as a friendly reminder, we do have a Second Amendment right. Oh, okay. So now you believe in it. Okay. It's a funny fucking thing to me. Y'all will pick up arms against everything but a fucking school shooter. Oh, but we don't want to talk about that. The ultimate Uno reverse. Can we make institutions great again? Everybody with TDS need to go have spa day for the next 4 fucking years. They also threatened overthrowing the government. You can read all that bullshit. They'd also posted multiple videos, just like a bunch of the liberal left a couple months ago, back when Nerdy Ned tried to assassinate him, saying, "And this time, don't miss." End quote. Saying that he needed to be shrilled. You know, for a party that claims to be bright, I believe my hoodie's brighter. It's brighter at midnight. You know what? It's fucking good. I like when trash takes itself out. You know what we need to do? We need to go back and find every single Vigi threatening violence against Donald Trump and send it to the fucking 3-letter agency. Every single one of them. Arrest them fucking all. Period.
Thoughts?
This what is it? New winter boots thing. I've talked about it. Is a little stressful, but at the same time, these people are idiots. They're really dumb because they're posting it out there online, and it doesn't make any sense. But either way, you know, good on you. But why? Just like Sassy said, why? Why is it that this is important? Why is it that you want people here who are killing people like Lake and Riley? Why is that acceptable? Why do you want to save those people as opposed to the children at the schools? We've been trying to have a rational discussion with irrational people, and that's not exactly the brightest move we can make. It's like trying to teach a pig to sing. Sing. It frustrates the shit out of the pig and it makes you look stupid. So let's stop trying to teach these pigs to sing and really, deal with the real problems that need to be dealt with and put them where they belong. You know what? Sit down, Point Dexter. And that should probably be a phrase that we bring back. Sit down and shut up, Point Dexter. Let the adults do the talking.
Right? Ugh. So frustrating. Are you ready?
Mhm.
Let's listen.
Republicans, why you do stupid shit like this? Like, I generally support the Republican agenda, but this bill is not only fucking stupid, but it's wildly unconstitutional and has zero chance of passing muster. So Tennessee Republicans have gone off their rocker a little bit. They put forward a bill that criminalizes voting for sanctuary city policies. You can't do that. You can't criminalize a fucking vote. Like, I get the idea of what they're trying to say. They're trying to suggest that voting in favor of sanctuary city policies is like giving aid to illegals, but it's not. Like, here's the thing. If you want to challenge the sanctuary city policies, you're perfectly fine to do that, but you don't get to criminalize voting on a bill. Like, that's just fucking stupid. And like I said, wildly unconstitutional. And even if that shit did manage to pass, it's going to get struck down so fucking quick. Like, focus on shit we actually can do and stop doing stupid shit like this.
Thoughts?
I agree with him. Don't deny people the right to vote for stupid ideas. It helps point them out, and we know the stupid ones are.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree with him 100%.
You're right.
We gotta. The only thing I want to say about that is we really need to be rational about this. We've had enough of the irrational behavior and lack of reason as we've done these things. We got to learn how to reason and rationalize and talk through these things. And bills like this shouldn't really even be put up. We need better. What politicians? We don't need politicians. What do we need? Statesmen. We need statesmen.
Statesmen. There you go.
Make statesmen great again.
Yes. So Miss Jenny sent this in.
Jenny.
And it's very interesting. Let's take a listen.
All right.
Let's go over this 1937 propaganda pamphlet and I'll try to explain it to you. Your Social Security account card. What it is, what you do with it, and why. Your card shows the number of your Social Security account. It is necessary to identify the account as belonging to you, but it has no other purpose. The Social Security card should not be used for identification purposes. Oh, does Mom know I've been using it wrong, man? When you work on a job that is under Social Security, you show your card to your employer. Make sure your employer takes down your name and Social Security number exactly as they are shown on your card. Boy, if it's only my employer that's supposed to get it, then I'm employed by a lot of different companies, aren't I? Your card shows you have an insurance account with the U.S. government under the Old Age and Survivors Insurance System provided for in the Social Security Act. Well, this is some funny propaganda. I have an insurance account? The government is insuring me? Isn't insurance a security? I wonder what you can do with securities under the Securities and Exchange Commission of 1930 whatever. Your account is a record of the pay you receive, which counts towards old age and survivor insurance benefits. The size of benefits will depend upon the amount of wages credited to your account. Credited to my account? But I was told there is no account with credits in it. I was told I have to pay with little pieces of paper that are promises to pay at a future date. Dots on the screen, numbers appearing out of thin air. Look at this guy. He's really wondering what's going on, but he's going to the Social Security Administration district office to figure it out. The only thing that I found about going to these offices is that these people are just doing their job. Somebody up above them told them how to do it. It's not their decisions that they're having to enforce. Yet they're having to take all the liability when we yell at them because they're not doing what the Social Security was invented to do. Oh, this is such a mystery. Let's see if we can solve it.
Thoughts?
I agree with Jenny. He sounds like Shaggy, but he also sounds like Bobcat Goldthwait.
Yes.
Yeah, Social Security's a lie. Yay. Probably unconstitutional, but a corrupt ass group of judges said that it's okay for them to give us all a number like cattle or something like that.
Right? Ugh.
Yeah.
It's an it's just
I will tell you my opinion, and I think that a lot of people might agree with this. I think that the Social Security was designed specifically to destroy the nuclear family, to make people not have to take care of their family. I think that it's extremely important that families stick together and that we take care of our own, because we see how people get taken care of when we give the reins of that to the government and how the government cares for us.
Yeah.
He's not yelling like Bobcat did. No, he's not.
No.
Still got that sound though.
Very much so. And it was kind of strange. He did sound like a mix of both of them.
It definitely got everybody's attention, didn't it?
It did.
Yeah. It'll probably be bigger.
Yeah.
As
You
time
ready?
goes on. Yeah.
Let's listen.
All right.
That sometimes things must die for us to see the Lord more clearly. Some of us have a veiled view of Christ. We can't see him because some relationship is hindering us. I'm telling you, our relationship may have to die. Some friends may have to die. Some attitudes may have to die. Some sins we love may have to die. There is a correlation between death and sight, that sometimes when things die, we see God more clearly.
Thoughts?
All right. Another way to say this is talking about an ego death. And I think that that's really one of the truly important points about all of this is these sins that we care about so much. That is an aspect of self. It is an egotistical pursuit that is not beneficial to anybody but our own fleshly desires, going back biblical, right? And so we have to put that self, that ego on the cross. How fast can you run to the cross, especially when it's something that we know we shouldn't be doing? We must have that ego death. And the only way to have that ego death, and it's spoken of not only in the Bible, but pretty much every single real religion out there, is that we have to deny ourselves so that way we can truly purify who we are, so that way our true self can come out.
Absolutely. You know, that's one of the things is, and we say it all the time, ego is not your amigo. And when we allow that ego to overtake us,
it's nasty.
It's nasty. And so you run to the cross as fast as you can.
Amen.
And leave that ego in the dirt.
There you go. Beautiful.
Yep. You ready?
Yes.
Let's listen.
All right. Do we get to see your face?
Yep.
Yay.
Marcus Aurelius once said, "Do not be overheard complaining, not even to yourself. Silence your complaints and transform your inner dialogue. Complaining traps you in a cycle of negativity, weakening your resolve. Every grievance uttered, even in solitude, corrodes your spirit, undermining your potential. Instead, confront challenges head on, embracing the lessons they offer. Speak words of determination and action, forging a mindset of relentless perseverance. The world respects strength, resilience, not lamentations. Cast aside self-pity and channel your energy into solutions and growth. Remember, your most significant victories begin in your mind. Silence the whispers of defeat and roar with the conviction of a warrior."
Thoughts?
You know, that is so true. You cannot be in a state of negativity all the time. All you're doing is you're taking your vibration level to such low depths that it just makes it so terrible. It's all about what you think about, and what you think about, you bring about. And if you're constantly thinking that it's going to be a bad day, guess what? It's going to be a bad day. If you think that, you know, if you sit there and you're on your way somewhere, oh, I'm going to be late, I'm going to be late, I'm going to be late. Well, guess what? everything will conspire to ensure that you are late, because that's what you're putting out.
That's what you're focused on.
Where your energy flows, or where your attention flows, your energy goes.
Yep, there you go.
And so you just need to absolutely positively stay in that positive mindset, because as you sit there and are in a negative mindset, it just makes it so bad. It just makes it bad. And why do we need that? You know, for the last 4 years, we could have been really angry like some of these lefties and been screaming and yelling and shaving our heads and all this crazy stuff they're doing. But why? Why? It's not worth it. What's worth it is to have the faith of a mustard seed, to go with the flow and know that our Lord and Savior, Yeshua HaMashiach, is always there with us, by our side, lifting us up.
Beautifully said.
Seasoning?
Silencing our complaints. Really, more often than not, it's for our own good, more so than anybody else. Whether or not people want to hear, whatever, that doesn't matter. Other people's opinion of you does not matter. So what do we do things for? We do things for our Creator, and not more importantly, but just as important, because it's our path, we need to make sure that we are taking all of our thoughts making all of our thoughts slaves to us. And we need to determine whether or not that is something that is going to give life or take life. Those are the two options. It's either to give life or take life. Are you speaking life into your existence, or are you speaking death into your existence? The power of life and death is in your words. So choose your words carefully. And the only way to choose your words carefully is to make sure that you are being vigilant over your thoughts. It's the best way to go about doing it, folks. Hey, Brother Bill. Hey, you made it. There you go, man.
So glad you're here.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, that was awesome. Great job.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. Well, we do truly appreciate all of you joining us tonight. And we look forward to seeing y'all tomorrow night. Same dat time, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, at that dat channel, be it Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, X, Rumble, and pill.net.
And if you haven't already, please take a minute and give us that virtual hug. If you're over on YouTube or Rumble, hit that thumbs up. If you're over on pill.net, take that red pill. If you're over on X, smash that heart. And if you're on Facebook, you're our family. Go over there and push some buttons.
We know y'all like pushing buttons.
7 choices.
We know you like pushing buttons. Push the buttons, everybody.
Push the buttons.
Really helps us out, and we do truly appreciate it.
And if you wouldn't mind, like, subscribe,
and share.
And leave us a comment after the fact. Really helps us with the algorithm.
Yeah, it does help us out. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us. We love you all. Have a great night. Be safe, and God bless each and every one of you.